And I come for the last time to do the paper. Well, the last time on a proper week, if you get me. So there you go. There's the board up there of who could win. Look, I've expanded the decor, as you can see once again. Isn't it lovely? This has just turned into every episode show off. Right. Average. 5 people to go through. This is the greatest thing because it can be a bit lazy because there's not that many. So, Hams is Latin 30.7, the second lowest there. Ballroom 34.7, which is the second highest that time round. And then in speciality 38.2, which is quite a bit further than a few others. Fleur 34 in Latin, second highest. 33.6 in ballroom, again the lowest. 35.6 in speciality, just behind Tams about a wee bit. Will 31.2 in Latin, set himself in the middle. 35.5 in ballroom, he was the highest, and 33.7, making him the lowest in speciality. Molly 35.4, the highest in Latin. 34.5, second highest in ballroom, and 34.2 in the middle with speciality. And then Helen's the lowest in Latin with 30.5. In the middle with her ballroom, the second lowest with 34.2, and then just 1 point ahead of Will with 33.8 in speciality. So taking Will out of that equation, it's quite tight. However, Helen isn't quite as high as the others, surprisingly. Now I have to turn over to my scores over the weeks. Now you can see them. An 8 and a 9 from Will, thought he was overmarked. 9 and a 10 for Molly. Her American Smooth was great, just didn't captivate me as much as all them other number 10s. Fleur was a 10 and a 9 again, that's her fourth 10. Hamza got his sixth 10 for me with Charlton, again as Waltz, really good, just not as good. And Helen, great Argentine, and a very good waltz. So I think that those are the deserved scores. So, yeah, that's done as I cross over to fill out the final scores, which will be exciting. I can probably see them being all 10s down there. I'll be very surprised if they're not. So expect it to be a row of 10s. It's almost time to find out who the answer is, even though it's been the same from week 1. So 6.87 is Craig, 8.3 is Motsy, 7.75 is Shirley's, 8.12 is Anton's, and 8.13 is mine. Literally just 1 mark apart. It's crazy. I do think by tonight's show we're going to be the same number, if I'm honest. Like the exact same. But we shall see. It's getting tighter because it was a 4 gap it was a 4 gap for the 3 weeks beforehand, and then it was a 7 gap before that, a 6, and it went up to 7. At one point it was a 6, and then it was 4. Yeah, it was 4 in the first 5 weeks, and then in week 4 it was an 8 gap. Week 3 it was 17 gap. Week 2 it was 20, and week 1 20. So it's gotten tighter as it's went on. cross over the best scores, got my 40 sorted, 39 for pretty much, 39 for the rest of them. That gets boring. Worst scores. Hams has been on 24 since week 2. Will was on 23 from week 4. Helen's always been on 26. Fleur's been on 28 since week 2. And Molly stayed on her 30. So again, can't see that changing down here. So Will now joins this board with a best score of 39 in ballroom, 35 in Latin, and 38 in speciality. So you see, there you go, with 4 more to contend to on the board. And actually, it's quite interesting because a lot of them are in the same places as well, which I never noticed. It is very tight, especially when you look at the worst scores, because Will's worst score in ballroom was only 32, yet his Latin was 23, and his ballroom was, or his speciality was 26, which just goes to show a lot of the specialities are quite tight. And the Latins are tight. Actually, the Latins are very tight, apart from Tyler. The ballrooms are a whole range, so they're not similar. I know I want to win, and it's the person on the right, but I have a feeling that it'll be the person on the left. So that brings us to averages. Does this determine who should win? Well, Will joins with an average of 33.30 from the judges and 33.52 from me. So it's very, very close. Now my score's been alternated into 4 to match with what the judges have had to say. So like I've given Tyler an average of 8 over the series, so then it becomes 32. And the finalists will be in green for the tonight. P.S. brush this carpet up, but P.S. definitely not an excuse because the orange pen over there's ran out of life. No, definitely not. So that brings us over to top and bottom predictions. Well, I think Hamza, I've gotten the top wrong every week. Can we just say, can I get it right for once? My bottom has been a lot more reliable with 6 right and 6 wrong, or 5 wrong and 6 right. So my bottom's Helen is who I have picked for the bottom, only because she's the lowest average, and I feel like they're going to be quite picky on her tonight, even though she doesn't deserve it. And Hamza might get his 40s. To be honest, I could quicker see Fleur being at the top. If I'm being dead honest, I don't really know why I wrote Hamza. I'm thinking Hamza and Fleur might be joint. I'm gonna add Fleur on. There you go. And I'm thinking maybe Molly could be joint with Helen, but you see, I'm maybe thinking Molly could be at the bottom because she's went for a technically demanding dance, the rumba, and her quick step was, quite early on. But then again, the show dances, Molly's show dance sounds really promising. Who will leave? Well, it's not really who will leave because it's just this order. Now, there is no 4th place. I made a mistake when filling this out, actually. But I'm just going to put that in order of Fleur, Helen, Molly, and Hamza. Because that's how, that's just... I just put it at random because really they're all second. So I do think Hams is going to win, though. I've been quite accurate. Only 4 out of 11? Yeah. Sorta. So there you go. That's that board as well. And then, of course, it's Hamza and Jovita, who I think are going to win. It changed to Helen for the semis, and it was Molly at the beginning. And then who I want to win, of course, is Molly. So, it's been the only one who I've never thought's going to win is Fleur. Although when she was announced, I thought she was going to be the winner. So it just goes to show it all changes. That leaves me with 2 more things. 40 and 10s. Again, all for me. Now, Craig usually doesn't give everyone a 40 on the final, but I just couldn't decipher who'll get it. I think all of them could get it. And I really hope Molly gets the first ever 40 for Rumba. That will be just lovely. Fleur will probably get a 40 for both, I'd imagine. Helen for a couple's choice and Hamza for a salsa. I think they could all be in the running to get a 40. And I think it's inevitable that everyone is going to get a 10 or there'll be something wrong. It's called the show dance effect, which is the last thing I'll be doing. And this is to predict how I think the show dances will go down with the audience and the judges. Obviously in order from first to fourth, that'll probably... I think they might be quite different, so I'm going to order this out. Genuinely no favouritism, just what I think, how it's going to go. That's how I think. Fleur won't prove as popular with the audience, but the judges will fawn over it. Helen will do better with the audience, not maybe the judges. Ham's second with the judges, and the audience I think will love is Fred and Ginger. Molly third for both, which is kind of a bold statement because I think her show dance could be one of the best. But I'm just going by people's favourites. Fleur's sounds like it's jam-packed, which the judges will like. Ham's is traditional. Helen's sounds like very entertaining, so I'm going to go with that. So we'll see how good or how bad I've done. And my football prediction last week ended up being spot on. I said France would win, there'd be penalties, and I was right. So I was right about it being Argentina and France as well. So if I can predict that as well as I can predict these dance sheets, and I'm doing really well. So Argentina are gonna win. They are. I think so, at least. Argentina, yeah. So there you go. Also, I don't know, that referee, France, bit odd. So there you go. So let's see if this show dance effect gives the right effect.